Hello, tubers! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And thank you for watching Cooper's Thai Adventure. Welcome back on today's Sunday's podcast, and this is what we're going to be calling it. It's going to be a podcast, and hopefully it'll turn into a weekly success story. And the title of this one is called Money Matters, and it's everything to do with money. And my good friend, Mr. Brooke Schneider, is volunteered to help me out on this, and he's the one I go to for my advice when it comes to money matters. So without further ado, welcome, Mr. Brooke Schneider.
Hello, tubers, as Cooper loves to say. Today's subject is money matters. Matters to all of us. And specifically, I wanted to give you a few views of mine, not investment advice, just views. And definitely do your own research on Bitcoin. So what is Bitcoin? Well, it's a scam, Brooke. Didn't you know that? You know what? I used to think that. But then I started doing research, and you know what? I found out it wasn't a scam. And the more I researched, the more I started to believe in it. And there's definitely something there. I would say Bitcoin to me is a store of value. It's a cryptocurrency. And, do we need to have assets that will appreciate and hold their value? I think in today's times with inflation, my God, the price of everything seems to be going up, especially in the West. But I like Bitcoin. I invest in it, and to me, it's an alternative to the fiat currencies, the paper money. Hopefully, they never say it's not worth the paper it's written on, as far as the baht or the dollar or the Swedish krona, whatever. But being decentralized to me is important because it's not government controlled, and if you want maybe things not to work, just get the government involved, right, guys? Anyways, Bitcoin's decentralized, so it's not owned by anybody, and it's not has government controls at all. It's works off blockchain technology, but this is all stuff to do research on. Some of you already know about it, some of you don't, but I'll just give you an overview today. And when am I investing in it? Well, I would do it on a regular basis, guys, to be upfront, because even small amounts can help you. There's four things that have happened, in my opinion, that are going to really shoot Bitcoin to the moon in the next 6 to 18 months. You probably heard, if you're somewhat into Bitcoin, and if not, this will be good information for you, that there's ETFs coming out, for spot Bitcoin, meaning the company will issue shares and buy Bitcoin with the money. So and they'll be listed on NASDAQ, and they're going to be SEC monitored. And that's a great avenue for the average small investor, as well as, big funds like sovereign funds, institutional investing, to get into Bitcoin. And this how are we certain this is going to happen? Because they've, refused to do this for quite a while. But, BlackRock, which is the big boy, what they say tends to go. They have more money than God, apparently. They put their hat in the ring to get this spot Bitcoin started, and right after that, Fidelity, Vanguard, ARK Investing, they all kind of followed suit. So the writing's on the wall there, and when BlackRock does something, their approval rate is, I think they've only been not allowed one out of 575 ETFs they've applied for. So the chances are there that it's going to get through. So that's a big catalyst, and it'll help the small guy like me, if I want to actually have them hold the coins and invest in it, we can do that. So that's great news. The second one that I saw was the accounting treatment. Now, bean counters, the accountants, as I call them, they were treating Bitcoin as an intangible asset, meaning they didn't know where to lump it, so they put it in with patents and goodwill and stuff. Hey, you can't hold on to it, so what is it, right? But that was really hurting us because an average company couldn't put it on their balance sheet without negative implications should the price drop a bit, where now it'll be treated like any other asset. And, God bless them for doing that. At least the bean counters did something right. And that doesn't take effect till 2025, but, they'll start using it likely in late 24 with some of the companies. So that's a good thing. Third thing is the banks. And, banks to me are a necessary evil, but anyways, they're actually working on it now and are allowed to working on bank custody of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies for that matter. Bank of New York and Mellon, I think they're the largest trust holder of funds on the planet, like even, huge. They've been working on it for 2 years, so they're, close to fruition on that. The issue I have with banks typically is, their fees are quite high and, they're sometimes not there for us. But and the last one is called the halving. And what that is, Bitcoin is generated from, mining Bitcoin, they call it. And the rewards to the miners are cut in half every 4 years. So there's a diminishing supply, and yet demand stays the same. Well, to me, a blind man could see that if you cut the supply in half and the demand stays the same, the price should go up. To me, demand is going to increase with all these other factors I mentioned. So cutting the supply in half with these other factors affecting demand, I could see it shooting to the moon, guys. So how to do this? Like how would the average guy sitting here who doesn't know much about Bitcoin, thought it was a scam, but maybe he's done some research now or maybe will after this, say, how do I get into it? There's a few ways. Check number one with your bank or broker. They might actually be in the field where they can do it for you right now. Research obviously will help you. There is brokers that are specific to cryptocurrencies, coins, Bitcoin being one of them, that would be able to possibly help you. And I know they're in Thailand, they're all over the West, they're all over the planet. So that's an avenue. And then the use of proxies. What's a proxy? It's someone that would hold Bitcoin, like MicroStrategy is part of their game. Miners are also listed on the stock exchanges. Riot, Mara, CleanSpark is a few I know of. They actually mine the Bitcoin. Most of them will have a Bitcoin supply on their balance sheet, so that's another way you can get involved in it. And so that's maybe how to do it. And just to talk a bit more about why you should do it. We all know the debt on the planet's getting quite high with every country. And I don't know, I'm for one, Jesus, when's the piper get paid? When do the chickens come home to roost? Well, they keep kicking the can down the road. And I think sooner or later something, is going to have to come to fix that issue. So at least my views with Bitcoin, hey, I'm covered. I got a coin, and it'll be there regardless of what the companies or the countries or the system, finance system, how it ever works out. So how would you go about getting into Bitcoin? Well, first off, let me be clear. You do not have to buy a whole coin, which means one coin. That's probably everyone's goal to get there. With the 21 million Bitcoins, there's more than that number of millionaires on the planet. So there's not going to be a coin for everybody. So that might be a goal. But anyone can purchase a portion of a coin. You can purchase 1%, 0.01%. You can put any amount. You can buy $10 of Bitcoin, $100, and just hold it and keep it. And, I think you'll do well. There's some tremendous price predictions, let's say, of what Bitcoin could end up being at. I tend not to put much faith in them as far as at least announcing it. Heavens, everyone's got their own opinion. But so where would you buy these? You can go to, I personally have used Coinbase, and these big ETF funds like BlackRock and Fidelity and Vanguard, they're going to be using Coinbase to hold their coins for the spot ETFs. So, hey, if it's good enough for those boys, biggest on the planet, they're good enough for this little guy. So Coinbase, who I use, there's many others. So again, do your research on those where you are. I have a good friend that uses IBKR, and they allow for Bitcoin purchases through that trading platform. I'm with TD Bank in Canada. Unfortunately, they don't do it, so that's why I have to use these other mediums. But and if, for example, I don't know about holding the coin, or I don't know if I trust these things. I also use TD for purchasing stock in my what I call proxies, meaning the Bitcoin miners, MicroStrategy, and they're based around the Bitcoin, and they tend to follow the price action of Bitcoin. So that, to me, that's good enough. And the reason I do that is I'm able to generate income from these companies through options trading and that. So, but yeah, there's again lots of research on YouTube. You can get into any of these topics, and feel free to do so. Okay, so bye for now, and please like and subscribe again. Send me some comments if there's anything you'd like to talk about next week, same time, same place, and we'll go from there. If there's enough interest, we'll definitely be doing more of this. And obviously topics that you are interested in, please send them in the comments, because I'd be happy to do some research and mention them in the next video. Until then, stay safe, and goodbye, tubers.